The transfer portal has opened back up today on Tuesday, and it will be open for 2 weeks. Today is Tuesday, April the 16th, and the last day you can put your name in the portal will be on a Tuesday here in 2 weeks, April the 30th. But today, the first day of the transfer portal, and let me just say, a lot has went down already in the first couple of hours. Not only for Ole Miss, but every team out there in college football. A lot has went down today with Ole Miss. And look, there's going to be a lot of stuff going on the next couple days, this weekend, next week. You will see a lot more announcements coming out. Just get ready, be prepared. Look, if you like it or not, it's coming, it's going to happen. Just get ready, be prepared. But at this moment in time, once again, Ole Miss has 4 guys entering the transfer portal. Now, the first guy, he announced back on Friday that he will be putting his name in the portal, and that is Joshua Harris. Now, Joshua Harris, didn't even play in the spring game back on Saturday, but Joshua Harris, out of these 4 transfers so far, Harris is the biggest loss for Ole Miss. Now, Joshua Harris, defensive tackle, he can only play college football one more season. But, Joshua Harris was a guy, decent player, was not a starter. He was in the rotation some last year. Had 13 tackles last year in 2023. But look, Ole Miss still has a very good and talented defensive line. If we're talking about just defensive tackles and those tackles, look, Ole Miss still has J.J. Pegues, Walter Nolan. Those 2 guys right there are kind of your projected starters for Ole Miss. And then, of course, you still have Xavier Harris. You still have Akilo Stone. Eccles, still in high school right now. He'll be here later on this summer is when he's arriving on campus. But look, Ole Miss still has some very good defensive tackles and some nose tackles. This is not a huge loss for Ole Miss. The next guy, Javante Connor, tight end. Now, last year he was a true freshman. Only had 1 catch last year, and that was against Louisiana Monroe. Javante barely saw any playing time last year. And actually, if you Ole Miss fans remember, he actually put his name in the portal. I'm trying to remember. It was sometime last year. It might have been back in December, but I do remember there was one time he put his name in the portal, and then he changed his mind, announced he was coming back to Ole Miss. I'm kind of thinking that was back after last year's season, but that could have been back in December. But anyway, Javante Connor announced he's leaving Ole Miss. Once again, last year only had 1 catch, 7 yards. Barely saw the field any last year. This is not a huge surprise, but Ole Miss, once again, this is not a huge loss. Ole Miss still has some very good tight ends. We still have Prescorn, you still have Hudson Wolf, you still have Daquan Wright, and then you also have the freshman Dylan Hip. Look, tight end, still got some pretty good options for Ole Miss. Next guy, quarterback, and once again, this may not be pronounced correctly, but DJ Bailey, Elijah Bailey. Anyway, last year, true freshman, got no playing time. This is not a shocker. This is not a surprise. But look, Ole Miss has some very good quarterbacks. Ole Miss has one of the best quarterback groups in the country. Of course, you got Jadson Dart, you got Austin Simmons, Walker Howard, Maddox, the true freshman this year. I'm trying to think here. You got, Braden Waterman, been here for a couple years, and there's still some more guys I'm forgetting about. But look, Ole Miss has some very good quarterbacks. If I'm taking a guess, I'm going to say Bailey was probably running like 5th string, 6th string quarterback. That's me taking a guess. Honestly, I have no idea, but this is not a shocker. This is not a surprise. The next guy, this is a walk-on, Keyshawn Lawrence. Now, today, when the announcement came out, there was some confusion because for those who don't know, Ole Miss also has a player by the name of Key Lawrence. So there's a Key Lawrence and there's a Keyshawn Lawrence. I know that can be kind of confusing, but Key Lawrence was the one that transferred in from Oklahoma, and good chance he could be a starter this year for Ole Miss. If Key is not starting, he'll be in the rotation a lot for sure. But this is Keyshawn. So you got Key and you got Keyshawn. Keyshawn is the one transferring. But yeah, Keyshawn, I know most Ole Miss fans don't know much about him, but he was a walk-on, transferring in. He transferred from East Mississippi Community College last year. They're in JUCO. Only had, I think it was around like 20 tackles. Looked like a decent athlete. Of course, this year, to be honest with you, I don't see this kid getting any playing time for Ole Miss in 2024 if he stayed here. This is the guy, I'm assuming, pretty well on the depth chart. So I don't blame the kid one bit, to be honest with you. But so far, thankfully, no huge losses. But get ready, some stuff's going down. Yeah, there's gonna be some stuff that will come out that will be a shocker and will surprise some Ole Miss fans, and some stuff is going to happen that we will not be too happy about. I'll just leave it there. But anyway, 4 transfers so far. There'll be more announcements coming out pretty soon, so just get ready. But also, you will see some guys start taking visits as well too. So we don't know who's going to take a visit to Ole Miss. But there'll be some pretty talented guys that will enter the portal. There'll be some talented guys that will transfer to Ole Miss. So hey, there could be some good out of this, but there could be some bad, but there could also be some good out of this as well too. So, and yeah, the next couple of weeks as far as Ole Miss recruiting, I will say this, this time always mid-April. Mid-April until the end of April. The next couple weeks around this time is always a busy time of recruiting, not only for football, but also, right now you got some basketball transfer stuff going on. Of course, we got a basketball transfer back on Saturday. We got one back on yesterday, back on Monday. There's some more Ole Miss, there's some more basketball recruits taking some visits pretty soon. You'll have some baseball guys on campus pretty soon. Of course, right now this is the season going on for the baseball team, but there's some guys taking some visit to Ole Miss. Some of these guys may not be taking official visits, but there's recruits coming to ball games, checking out the Ole Miss baseball team. And this is just men's. This is not even talking about women's sports. Of course, you could talk about women's basketball, softball, or other sports you could talk about as well too. But the next couple of weeks, you will see a bunch of recruits on campus for many different sports. You're going to see a bunch of recruiting news happen in the next couple of weeks. You're going to see a bunch of guys transfer out, and you will see a bunch of guys announce they're transferring to Ole Miss as well too. But yeah, a bunch of stuff's going down pretty soon. Once again, some stuff you're going to like, some stuff you won't like. Yes, there'll be some huge losses for sure the next couple days, next couple weeks. But, Pete, that's pretty much all I got for the video. Hey, I appreciate y'all watching. It always means a lot for sure. If you can, just please leave a like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Would be appreciated. See y'all in the next video. Have a good one. And, of course, the last 2 words, you guys know it. Hotty toddy.